Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic Friday, wherever you are around the world. I had to think then what day we were on. But how are we, chat? Hopefully, everyone is well. I know before anyone gets on to me, I know the game is still going on between Spain and Germany. Again, good game at the minute. I'm not going to lie. But we're here to discuss, of course, Arne Slot, first Liverpool press conference today. Again, very excited the preseason is here. I don't know about you guys. Again, I'm very optimistic for the season. That might prove a bit different maybe towards the end of the season, but I'm very, very optimistic to see what Arne Slot does in his first Liverpool season. I think it's definitely an interesting time, of course, and we're going to discuss a few things from the press conference today. Of course, 5 things I've got in the title, but there'll be a few things we will talk about in today's episode as well. If you're new around here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. It's very much appreciated as always. Anyway, of course, next week we have got a journo on next week. I believe it will be Monday. So again, keep tuned in for that. Anyway, but again, let me know all of you are in the chat as well. There might not be anyone that tunes in because of the football. Again, I was so happy that Spain were winning and then Germany equalised, right? What was it? The 89th minute, was it? Again, unbelievable game, but still, we're here to talk. We're not here to talk about the Euros. We're here to talk about Arne bloody Slot anyway. And of course, obviously Richard Hughes as well, accompanying, I should say, Arne Slot to the press conference today. Of course, questions were asked to both of them. Of course, the Liverpool sporting director and the new Liverpool head coach, I should say, not the new manager. But again, there was a few points from it. Of course, I think a lot of people straight away was wondering what they would be talking about. Of course, obviously, only a handful of players are back at the present moment in time. Obviously, Curtis Jones, Stefan Bajcetic, Seb Banderberg, Joel Konza, Keller as well is also part of that. So it's not the full team just yet. I think Mo and Wataru Endo might be back next week. I think even on Monday, I think they might be back in training. So again, it's great the fact that they'll be back. It looks like they're not going to go to the Olympics. But again, the players that are currently there, for me, I'm very excited to see. Certainly, Stefan Bajcetic. Hopefully, he has an injury-free season, and I wonder what maybe Arne Slot might have in his plans for him in that sense. I know a couple of people have said loan, but I think he's probably going to start for Liverpool this season anyway. But we're going to go through a few things they did discuss in the press conference. Of course, like I said, obviously many people wondering what they would say about transfers being the main topic of things. But this is what they had to say. Well, this is what Arne Slot had to say about transfer business needed to be done. He did say, "I don't have specific numbers. It's clear we've inherited a good squad or good team. Important to work with them on a daily basis to get the best out of them." And of course, the question was also asked to Richard Hughes as well, saying we need to improve, and we need to improve on the training pitch first and foremost. But with the window open, we will always look for optimistic as well. So is that encouraging? For many people on social media, I've already seen people have meltdowns over it and this, that, and the other. And again, I think with the questions that were asked, I think it was a pretty clear indication that this month might be very quiet for Liverpool. Whether that be, again, whether or not that's going to be in terms of, again, a complete quiet month, I'm not so sure. Again, the comments of it, again, it's going to be ideally a month of training, and then once the team or the squad's near enough there, they're going to assess where Liverpool needs strengthening. Is that a good strategy to have? Again, we don't know. Again, Liverpool could be a couple of weeks into pre-season. Somebody might get injured. They may have wanted somebody that's already moved on or moved somewhere else. I think Liverpool, certainly this season, we're not looking for, or certainly Slot's first season, we're not looking for loads of signings. Look, Liverpool don't need that either way. Liverpool have a very, very good squad. Even though, again, it did fall off towards the back end of last season, again, the squad is a very, very good squad. Again, it does need a few tweaks. We all know this, but again, it's quality over quantity this season, and it's not, again, signing like I've seen people already complain the fact that Liverpool haven't even looked at a player, and Chelsea have already signed 6 players. Like, again, that's Chelsea's business. Look how well they did last season. That's all I'm saying. And this is the thing where, again, you on social media especially, people lose their minds, and I don't get why. Or like, genuinely, we're in July, and okay, we haven't made a signing, but still, we've barely begun pre-season. There might be, again, the comments from Arne Slot and obviously Richard Hughes. They, for me, they were positive. They wasn't negative in so many sense. Again, there was a few things that were a little bit, not negative, but a bit questionable. But I think that with the whole transfer business, Liverpool, he wants to see first what he's got. Again, he wants to see, a Bajcetic, and then he wants to see Carvalho. He wants to see, certain players return, and then we'll make up a mind on all of them. And I think, look, Liverpool will get at least, I think, 2 or 3 done this window. Again, it's not going to be a number of, like 6 or 7, unless there is a few drastic exits from the football club. I don't expect that. I don't think many other people would expect that either. So for me, I think Liverpool will sign players. It will just be, it looks like it's going to be in August. The Liverpool do any business. Of course, I think Richard Hughes did say, again, it's very hard to do business when there's a Euros, an Olympics, and a Copa America in a season, which again is true. Even though I think a lot of us would very much like to just go and sign anyone. Of course, obviously, I think there was a chuckle as well when a question come up about Anthony Gordon, which again, obviously we all know that story. And of course, I think Richard Hughes, he did let out a little smirk when I think the reporter mentioned the Anthony Gordon stuff as well. So again, if there's an opportunity, Liverpool can do a great deal, like again the Anthony Gordon situation. I think even today there was a report saying that again Liverpool could still be open for a move for him if the correct deal appeals them, which again it's great in that sense if that's true. But I think if Liverpool, if there is a deal that does come up, and there is definitely a special deal that Liverpool can do for a player that they admire, then I think they'll do it. But again, it has to be top quality level. I don't think it's anything of, oh, we're going to allow certain things to happen. No, it's going to be Liverpool are going to go and sign the best out there, hopefully. That's the right idea anyway. But again, things could change throughout the summer anyway. But we hope it is a good idea. Hopefully, again, hopefully it is a good idea to wait until the squad comes back. Again, the big concern with that, though, with Liverpool, especially going to the States, if somebody gets injured and it's a bad injury, then again you're leaving yourself a bit exposed in that sense. So again, you're probably playing catch up as well in the market, because again, look at yesterday, for example. We were going to do a video on Matt Sweefer speaking about him, because of course there was reports of Liverpool potentially hijacking the Brighton deal, and then when that didn't come in, people straight away losing their minds in that sense, and that's just the way the summer window goes, and that's the way the summer in general goes with certain individuals on social media. Again, people will lose their minds, people will go completely crazy in that sense, which again, for me, I don't get why. Again, you can be frustrated in not getting a player like Matt Sweefer. Do I think Liverpool would have been better with Matt Sweefer? Sure. But is there a better player out there? Probably. And same with other players as well. Like, again, the only part and the frustrating part for me is like the Lenny Euro situation. The fact that Liverpool's name keeps getting dragged into it, and it's like, oh, we're just waiting for Real Madrid. If Real Madrid can't afford it, then Liverpool will go for him. And I'm like, if we were that serious about him, if we were that committed to go and get him, just go and bid for him. But again, we all know somebody like a Leniura wants Real Madrid. So again, unless that deal was completely off in that sense, then Liverpool wouldn't go anywhere near it. And again, there'll be other players this summer that Liverpool look at, and again, people will judge. Liverpool don't go for him as well. But again, I think the whole, the whole UEFA thing yesterday was just fake. I do think it was the Telegraph getting something, and then they ran away with it in that sense, because supposedly what happened with the UEFA situation was Liverpool supposedly spoke to his agent about something. It might have been about again, situation of was he going to Brighton or not, and then the Telegraph ran away with it, which then led to the Dutch press issuing out statements and this, that, and the other, and then of course obviously Liverpool journos. Some looked at it, but then again, there was nothing much on it in that sense anyway. But I think in just the last bit on transfers as well from the press conference, again, I fully now expect Liverpool to do all their incomings in August. And again, whether or not that's a completely safe thing to do, who knows? But I think outgoings, I think there will be a few, maybe next week. I think Stefan Bajcetic. I think Seb Vandenberg's definitely one that might go because there's talks of PSV potentially, wanting to buy him for £10 million. Again, if that's the case, let him go because he's made it. Even though again it was all smiles in the lactose test. Again, there's been clear indications he doesn't want to stay at Liverpool. So again, let him go. And I think that'll be what Richard Hughes and Arne Slot will do. I think they'll look at everyone. They'll understand what people want. And then I just think, again, it's going to be something where Liverpool will do the right thing and they'll let go of people that don't want to stay and keep people that do. Anyway, but good luck to Lives. I don't know what that's about, mate. But for God's sake, he had a rumour that Arne Slot wanted to appoint Ricky. To be fair, he's already done it, Luke. Just need to do the buffering ball. Like what's it called? Bowling ball. When they get like I can't remember. Is it out to Dumber and Dumber? Where they do it again? That was Ricky and Arne Slot with that anyway. But to be fair, looking at him again, and you know what? That's something I wrote down earlier. For me, the answers he was giving as well, I thought was really good. Because again, Dutch media, they're a bit, they're a bit more aggressive with questions than the British media, and I thought, to be fair, Arne Slot did really good in answering it. Because again, look, you can have the odd dickhead reporter that go there. Of course, they probably wouldn't be like that because again, Liverpool would just say you're never coming here ever again. But again, I thought he dealt with questions quite clever. Answered correctly and answered again formally, if that makes sense. Again, just straight to the point. It wasn't going around everywhere and that. It was like straight to it as well. And again, I don't know. There's something with him that. Again, I don't know what it is, but even after the press conference, I'm a lot more confident for the preseason and for the season ahead. And it seems like every time Slot makes an appearance or a press conference or even talks about the squad and that, they make it sound very optimistic. And I don't know why that is. That might be me being a bit too optimistic with the season. But again, I'm very much looking forward to the season ahead for Liverpool, even if we don't make any signings. But then people will be losing their minds with it. Anyway, but sticking on to the points that I've got on my phone. Of course, he did almost, I say about him answering questions correctly, he did almost leak out 2 more appointments for Liverpool. He did, of course, mention, of course, that there is a couple of more additions to his backroom staff at Liverpool and will be announced very shortly. He did almost leak who was coming in. Of course, obviously mentioning, of course, his assistant, the new goalkeeper coach. I think it's more or less going to be set piece coach, I think that's going to be announced, and potentially sports science as well might be announced. But again, we're not so sure. But I think definitely it will be set piece coach. That's been in the works for a while. But again, he did almost let it out on who's getting appointed, because he did have to look at the press officer for about 5 minutes to, have a look what he could say or not, which of course I thought was pretty funny. Of course, him looking like, can I say it or can't? But yeah, to be fair, I thought that was funny as well. But again, it goes to show that Liverpool are getting the final bits together anyway. But I did think this for me was the biggest funny point of the whole press conference. No, like obviously everyone will know Chris from Redmen TV. Of course, he did. To be fair, I thought it was a good question. Of course, asking about formations and asking about his preferred formation being the 4-2-3-1. Now, the comment didn't go. Obviously, it was a bit sarcastic, the answer, but obviously, slot on systems. I was hoping people wouldn't say my team is 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, but there's a lot of freedom when we have the ball. Sometimes 4-1-4-1. I wouldn't put myself in a position where I say I prefer a formation. If you asked me, I'd say we played 4-3-3. Of course, at Vinod, but he did make a joke as well, saying that, again, whoever said we did play 4-2-3-1, again, they need their license checked, which, again, was pretty funny. With the press conference, of course, everyone on social media straight away was like, "Oh, Chris got burnt by Slot," and I think even they took it. I think Chris even took it as a funny joke as well. But again, that goes to show the comedic side of Arne Slot. Again, like we were so used to with Jurgen in that sense. And again, I think even Slot even talked about it, didn't he? About how, again, he has much to learn about the city and the people and so on. But again, he's getting to the grasps of it. And again, even today, I thought, that question in particular, he could have took it very, very serious, but it was very much a mixture between very serious and just being, again, a normal person with answering, again, very sarcastically. And look, that might be, again, it is a good thing in that sense, but I think it's also a very interesting way Liverpool are going to play next season. It's not going to be, a strict 4-3-3. It's going to be very much a mixture of what we could expect to see. How, we spoke about it today. Sometimes it is a 4-2-3-1. It's a 4-4-2. It's a 4-1-4-1. It's, again, that's the way football's going at the minute, where you can change, you can change systems in a game. We've seen managers do it. We've seen recently, Arteta's done it, Pep's done it. We did it at times last season where it would be a 4-3-3 and then it'd be a 4-1-4-1. Again, that's the style football's going in, where, again, we've got inverted right backs, left backs, and you've got players that are, again, not naturally in their position, but again, we're now having teams play 4 centre halves in defence instead of a left back or right back, and that's the way football is evolving. Again, when we speak about a DM in particular, a defensive midfielder in 2024 isn't a defensive midfielder like 5-10 years ago. Again, you look at Rodri, for example, who at the present moment in time I would say is the best in the world in that position. You wouldn't say he's a traditional number 6, if that makes sense. Again, he can play as an 8. He could even play as a 10, I think, if City wanted him to. And that's the big advantage, I think, with footballers nowadays, where, again, they can do that. Again, teams that do have a traditional 6, they're not disadvantaged from having that type of player. But the way the elite football is going, they can play anyway. And that's a mad thing in football. Again, there'll be a conversation, of course, speaking about, positions. Of course, he was, Arne Slot was asked about certain players. Obviously, two in particular, obviously Cody Gakpo and Trent Alexander-Arnold, where he spoke about positions and where their best positions were. Again, he said, "Yeah, I've got an idea of where their best positions are, but I'm not going to say anything until I've spoken to them." Which again is another point that I think was really good. Again when they spoke about, again speaking about transfers, but mainly speaking about contract extensions, where again they're not going to discuss anything until they speak to the players, and it seems like Liverpool under Slot, and especially under Richard Hughes, everything is kept in-house. Nothing's exposed, nothing's leaked. And I think even this summer, that's already been a massive indication of already what's happening behind the scenes. Again, nothing's getting leaked, nothing's getting spoken about in terms of, again, Liverpool are linked with this player, that player, like it was this time last year where Liverpool, again, there was so many leaks coming out about us speaking to Kefran Turam. There's, Manu Kone. There's so many different bits and pieces that were coming out last year compared to this year, where again nothing has really come out apart from possibly the Lenny Euro situation and the Anthony Gordon stuff as well, which again is different in that sense, because again it wasn't Liverpool that it came from other sources, i.e. Newcastle, for the Gordon situation. So they want to keep everything in house. I think as well Slot wants to again see everyone first, which again I'm really optimistic for that. I am looking forward to, again, hopefully there'll be training videos that comes out over the next couple of days, and just seeing how he operates. Again, we've got an idea of what he'll do for this Liverpool team, but again, we need to see it in person first. Of course, we won't see that properly until the first pre-season game, which I think is against Betis, is it, chat, in America. But still, like Liverpool, I'm very optimistic for the season. I'm very optimistic about Arne Slot as well, because again, the press conference, in my opinion, I thought was a success for him as well. But again, of course, he'll have plenty of press conferences that won't be a success in the future anyway. But for me, again, the main talking points and the main points I've got on my phone as well. We've spoken about the transfers, spoken about positions as well. I thought that was a big one with Slot today. Of course, speaking about, of course, again, Trent and of course Cody Gakpo. Spoken about the formation as well. That's a big one. Again, but I think the main one that everyone wanted, of course, was transfers. And again, by the looks of things, Liverpool are not going to do anything until August anyway. But good luck to Liverpool next season. I hope they can win the Premier League. They signed some good players, hopefully. I bloody hope so. Hopefully, Arne Slot can do a great job with Liverpool. It will be hard for him, but I hope he does a good job. I think he will do. Kind of to do, evening Doug as well, kind of to do not Premier League predictions, but at the present moment in time, I think Liverpool finished third next season. With the where we currently are and where other teams currently are, I think Liverpool finished third. If we sign one or two players that change my mind on that, then again, that might change again to second or first. But you never know. But evening, Doug. Are you planning going to the Seville game? Yes, I'm going. I'll be there for the preseason game for sure. Again, I think tickets got suspended, didn't it, chat? I wouldn't be surprised if they were brought back, I think maybe next week, or once the ballots obviously dished out as well. But yeah, Doug, I will be going to the Sevilla game 100%. Again, get to see Slot and Anfield as well. Most likely we'll probably see Liverpool's first team in that game as well, with the way pre-season's going, or looking at the minute, comparing again the players coming back and so on as well. So hopefully we'll see the first team in that game anyway. But yes, I will be going to that game anyway. But I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyways, I think Germany nearly scored, bloody hell. I am going to leave it there for tonight. Anyway, Doug, let me know if you're going as well in the comments. But yeah, no, for me, the biggest thing is, though, again, it's just once we've got everyone back, once again you've got an idea of the squad, again, then I'd like to see Liverpool being linked to players and so things and so on as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does in terms of, again, the formation and the system. I hope that Liverpool are, again, going to give him the tools to get, for him to succeed, because I'm again, this might be because it's Liverpool and obviously you have to be optimistic, but I'm really looking forward to the season until they switch away. And then that's a different kettle of fish. But no, look, I think it was a successful press conference. I thought, again, the questions, again, he answered correctly and good in that sense. And I do think as well, what the information we were given, I think it's okay at the minute to do what we're doing, but once we've got an idea of the players we want, go and get them ASAP, because I think with Arne Slot, it's fine with the way we're doing things. I think if Jurgen Klopp was still at Liverpool and this was the similar situation, I think then that's a problem, because again, you have an idea of who you want, maybe around January, February time, who you want for the summer. Again, new manager, it's a bit different. But if Jurgen was and we were currently at this moment, again, I would be a bit worried. With a new manager, it's a bit different, because again, he wants like he said today, of course, he wants the players. It's not like the sporting director is going to pick players that the managers doesn't want. Of course, it's a whole, it's a whole target to go and get players. It's not just like, oh, Richard Hughes is going to go and get A, B, and C players, and then Slot's got to have them. It's going to be, again, an agreement between everyone. Okay, we're going to go after this player, and again, hopefully that'll be quick, sooner rather than later. But again, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, Spain's just scored. Wow, what a goal that is. But yes, I'm planning on going. There we go, Doug, as well. But yeah, hopefully I will be going anyway to that game. But if you are new around here, of course, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Apologies, we haven't been live in a couple of days. Again, was meant to for the last 2 or 3 days, but we didn't. But tomorrow we're going to go live, maybe talk about a few things, but Monday we've got our guests coming on, so hopefully we can get that sorted maybe tonight as well, if they bloody email me back. If you're watching, great. But yeah, no, I will chase that up. But yeah, until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been calling out from the COP Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.